Hello everyone. I know that there's probably not many people watching at the minute, but I'm just going to try and see if we can go through PTU. Things are going to break. 3.8 Wave 1 just released. I had to wait a while because the verification email that they've been sending out, the servers in that have basically just fallen over and died, as they always do when a new PTU comes out, so we shall just have to see. There we go, she'll do. Oh, okay, so this is a new thing. I will switch over, so I've just made my normal lady kind of character that I do. And the first time you log in, as it says in the patch notes, you can choose where you wish to spawn. The exception being, of course, Lawville. Not Lawville, Microtech. So, yeah. What we will do, though, is I am going to spawn at Area 18 because I want to go and visit Microtech. And I want to take my 890 there. Hello Guillermo, I hope I've said that right. So, no holds barred here, I'm just going to be completely transparent. This PTU, whilst it is Wave 1 PTU, finally, you know, hooray, we get to go and see Microtech and do things. This is going to break, like, big time. They have made it very, very, very clear in not the patch notes, but like the thread where the patch notes were, that this is essentially the Wave 1 bit. So this first, you know, maybe few days of the PTU being live is essentially a stress test for the server-side OCS. So they genuinely want people to go in and break everything so that it makes the servers crash. So if you do join on the PTU, you know, it's not worth subscribing to just get into Wave 1. Don't do it, because if you're just going to do it because you want to play the game and see the new shiny things, there's no point. Things are going to break, it's all going to fall to pieces. It's meant to in this. Breaking it is a good thing in this instance because it detects the bugs, detects the server crashes, and it gets things fixed to make it better to go to live. I'm sorry if there's some fan noise going on in my background because my 3D printer's going at the side of me. I'm actually printing a Drake Caterpillar at the minute that I think I'm actually going to have a go and try and paint. Ooh, that was a bit janky. Okay. Gotta say, SSOCS, immediate frame rate improvement in the apartment here. Let's see what it's like when we get outside. Oh yes, it could just be because this server is empty. Oh no, there's definitely people here. And I can tell that they've changed the camera mode by the way the motion works. So they've put a new camera mode in, it's called the look ahead camera mode, where basically G-forces act on your character's head now. So like your head will sway with like harsh G-forces. So this was always the frame rate killer, looking out across the city. And it's I will put the if I can remember the command for it. That's the one. Oh, I had a brain fart then. FPS 29. Can we get to 30? So yeah, I'm bearing in mind, again, complete transparency, I'm not on my Razer Blade Pro laptop that has the kind of stronger hardware. This is my older PC with a 4th gen i7 running a 1070 and 16 gig DDR3 RAM. So 30 FPS slap bang in the middle of ArtCorp is not bad. Still going to get some stutters because OCS has got to render everything in. There's something about character movement that I can't quite put my finger on. Oh, that's weird. So this is the new look ahead mode. They've made the third person camera over the shoulder now. That's really weird. I'm not sure if I like that. Animations are a bit buggy. It's like she's sprained her ankle or something. Okay. Oh no, that worked. Oh, I hit F4 and it changed it. So does it rotate through them now? It must do. Okay. Interesting. You see that the text has changed again. I don't know if they've just shrank down the UI. So here was the next big frame rate killer. So we'll give OCS a chance to slam things into my SSD. But to 25 FPS, 26, 25 FPS, slap bang in the middle of Arc Court with server-side object container streaming. Not too bad. I can see guns in the windows there, but as I understand, vendors are going to be broken in this build. Okay, so there's weapons there, because I do want to test the new sniper rifle eventually, because there's a brand new 50 cal Ballistix sniper rifle being put in the game that I imagine is going to become my next favourite weapon. So plenty of scalpels. Let's see if the terminals work. There's like no armour. There's the combat knife. We'll have to get one of them, shan't we, just to see. This is new in this build, so I haven't seen the combat knife yet. They have the scalpel, but it doesn't seem like they have the new sniper rifle here. So we may have to go looking for it. More studders. Definitely tell this has been moved from a Evocati build, because I can see the watermarks flashing up on the screen. You probably can't see them on the stream, but there's like a strange watermark effect that blurs across the centre of the screen. It's barely noticeable unless you're looking for it, but it is definitely there. All of the Aerospace Expo Mugubbins are gone. They've actually put a shutter there now. Convention Centre is closed. Closed for development, like the rest of the game. And she's still walking with a bro. Yeah, it's like she's only got like 1.5 walk. If there was meant to be like 2 animations for a female to complete the running animation, it's like she gets through one of them and then only gets through half of the second one, and then it restarts and breaks. It's an interesting little bug. Tram arriving in 75 seconds. Is this one invisible and... No? I have to say, I can't put my finger on it. Like stepping into different objects of influence, like off the platform and into the tram. You used to sometimes get like a jerky camera bug, or your character would jerk. That's gone. I don't know if that's because of the server-side OCS smoothing that out. I would hope so, and I think so. But there's something about the way that she's moving at the minute, this character's moving, that feels a lot better. It doesn't quite feel as janky in the middle of Arc Court. It's a shame it's night time, because I'd have loved to have seen the effects of the Planet Tech V4 over Arc Core as we left the atmosphere, but we'll see the nighttime side, so that's something. Maybe the city lights and everything will look a lot smoother from orbit now with the V4 Planet Tech. Hello, Mr. DJ Love Noise. Hello. Want to see what the frames are when a storm hits? Tim, your wish will be my command if the server lives long enough for me to get to Microtech and throw my 890 into the centre of a storm. yeah, that feels a lot smoother, getting off different frames of influence now. It feels seamless, whereas before it felt a little janky. It always has done. That must be the server-side OCS kicking in. I should point out that there's tons and tons of stuff in this build that's disabled and doesn't work properly. There's a full list on the patch notes of what isn't working yet. The 890 jump mission that has been talked about is in. Ooh, that's orange. This didn't used to be this orange. Okay, well, let's go for it. Now, with the crime system and things being changed in here, this should mean that there should be terminals here to pay off fines and things. So there's the traveller ones for renting ships, so they're still there. And we're in Hangar 11. Maybe they're back in the city and I've already gone past them. Or is it these? No. So yeah, they've changed the crime system a bit, if you haven't followed it, so that your vehicles can get impounded if you incorrectly, you land on a pad and you didn't have authorization, that kind of stuff. And crime as well, you can pay off fines and things like that. It doesn't immediately get docked from you, so if you don't want to accidentally lose the money on some kind of felony, then you can pay the fine off later, but until then you might have a crime stat that hangs around, kind of thing. Again, still pretty smooth. Here's my baby. I'll open the doors early. Lopsided for a minute there. You see that? Like the left leg collapsed a bit. It's still doing it, like bouncing. That's weird. Look at that. It's like it's in, like on the deck of a ship itself or something, like in a rolling tide. Strange but cool. Yeah, people in the server chat just learning about the Evocati markers. Just that, again, reiterating, the movement feels a lot smoother, like running upstairs and things like that. Your character doesn't jerk around as much, it feels like. It's hard to explain if you've not kind of seen it and felt it yourself. Oh, they've changed the hangar bays. Why is 890 doing that, rolling like it's in the sea? Maybe it just wants to go in the water.
You are clear to launch.
Maybe the one that is assigned to you is green now, as opposed to them all being orange, which I suppose does help, because it's quite hard to see them and pick them out sometimes. I have to remember now that they have also changed the no-fly zones. Oh, this camera feels strange. Okay, so they've changed the camera for the exterior as well. We'll also see that the flight UI, if you've got good eyes, looks slightly different because they've added drop shadows to everything. So all the wording now has shadowing, so it's clearer to see against pale backgrounds and things like that. It's something that's been needed for a long time. And I have to say, frame rate, pretty good. Middle of Arc Corp. And the V4 Planet Tech is making that sunrise look very pretty. Okay. Let's get out of atmosphere. That's very pretty. So we are going to see what the sunlight is going to be like glinting off of ArcCorp's city surface higher up in the atmosphere. Not locked into nighttime. I want to try and explain this camera. So this, I think, is the old camera mode that you used when you used the external view. And this is the new one. It's basically meant to be like a more advanced chase camera. So if like things happen, the camera will feel it more to be a bit more immersive, if that makes sense. I'm not sure on all the ins and outs on it myself, but it's definitely more of a sunrise haze over ArcCorp now with the Planet Tech V4. It's a shame we don't have those full volumetric clouds in yet, eh? And it would look amazing. They seem to be levelling out for some reason, so I'm going to put the nose up again. This could also be due to the new atmospherics from the Planet Tech. So they have added what is basically called, if you watch the new Inside Star Citizen, there was things called wind texture maps added, which is just basically like, if you've seen the clouds on the planets move, they look like a flat texture that basically rotates and moves around the planet. The wind maps are basically the same thing. It's a specific texture, although obviously it's 3D, it has depth, that moves around the planet, and inside those textures are where wind effects take place. So, for instance, I haven't noticed if I've been getting condensation on my windshield as such. Bit late now because we're above the cloud layer, but we shall have to see when we get to Microtech. So I just, whilst we're waiting for this thing to go up, I just read in the Star Citizen Leaks Discord that the Mole is in the game files, so CIG's, or rather Argo's new mining ship, as well as the Idris. Apparently there is an Idris somewhere. I imagine it's part of a combat mission. So not something I'm going to do on my own. Okay, that looks pretty. That looks a lot better. The atmospheric haze from the sunrise. Oh, it looks so good! Just the effect of it glinting off the very city light down there. Still not quite out of atmosphere yet though, unfortunately. I'm almost like holding my breath because for a Wave 1 build, and this is going to be one of the very first servers that they spun up because I got in pretty early and got my, my email and everything sent out for it. Something's going to break. It's a matter of time, I know it is. Something's just going to make this thing fall over and die. And that's not a bad thing because it means getting rid of the bugs. But yeah, okay, we're out of atmosphere. We'll open the star map, and if we double right click now, we should have Microtech. So let's go to Microtech. far away is it? Oh, that's a long way away. That's one of the biggest jumps that I've ever had to do. Thankfully, we are in the fastest ship in the game, so it won't take us very long to get there. It's one reason I love my 890. It's very, very fast moving from place to place, even though it's a bit sluggish when it's flying around. I believe they've also changed the settings now so that when you do a quantum jump like such... Oh, we just missed one of the orbital stations. I just flew straight past it. I just saw it blip into existence for a minute there before I flew by it. We'll have to look at the one as we go into Microtech. Sorry, as I was saying, previously when you entered quantum jumps like this, if you were travelling in a direction at a speed, so... The preservation of angular momentum is the best scientific way to put it. So if you were moving with velocity and then you went into a quantum jump, when you came out of that quantum jump, you would continue moving at that speed in that direction. They've stopped that now. So if you go into quantum drive and you get to your destination, you stop moving completely. All movement ceases, which is a really good thing, because it used to be really bad when you were interdicted and it was the NPCs scanning your ship, because to scan your ship they need you to stop, and if you can't stop fast enough you get a crime stat. So it was really annoying when you were flying something like this that, let's face it, doesn't stop very well, and you get crime stats because they wanted to scan your ship. Okay, I'm going to dig out the patch notes whilst we do this journey, because it's going to take a while. Yeah, so there's a lot of issues with this at the minute. Client crash that occurs on exiting the player universe, so if I exit then the game will crash. Players will suffocate in the terrapin if they sit in the seat without a helmet. Quantum travel is at the edge of a marker or a moon or planet. They can end up quantum travelling through the object and explode. We'll have to be careful of that if we go around Microtech. Party launch not working. If a player interacts with one of the new fine kiosks, they will be turned around unable to interact because they haven't quite put that feature in yet. No items available for purchase, we knew that. Flight suits and armour missing, we knew that. Buttons on the fine and citations kiosks can frequently not respond to player interaction. Personal transport beacons don't work. Yeah, there's a big list of things that don't work at the minute. But there's the potential for so much more. I'm interested in this camera, so let's just look in the options whilst travelling. So graphics order, comms, controls. So you can see that they've done more with head tracking now. So the head tracking will be affected by, like I said, like G-forces. So if you get hit when you're inside your ship and the ship jerks, then it will make you move around. So make it a bit more immersive and possibly trigger people's motion sickness. Thankfully they've got sliders to kind of stop that. I'm not going to put my camera on and do it at the minute because I just want to focus on having a look around in this build. So let's have a look. It'd be in the camera controls. Hold. And it doesn't look like they've changed that much. Doesn't look like they put anything new in there either. Okay, so it literally just seems that it's almost like an automatic mode, which is the default right now. Still feels very smooth. Like, I mean, I know I'm the arse end of the middle of nowhere, but the 890 is a big ship, and it did used to cause little frame rate spikes when you used to rotate the camera around it like this, if something was going on. People being as toxic as ever in the server chat. In fact, I'm just going to get rid of that for now and get rid of it, turn it off. How far can you zoom out? Good question. Let's have a look. Apparently that far. So you have to remember that this ship is fucking huge, and this is probably zoomed out a long way. So I imagine if you're flying a fighter, you'll be able to zoom out a lot more and get some very, very cool camera shots. You see that the camera has like gone beyond the effect of the quantum travel bubble as such. Let me zoom in again. Can get very close. So much that we can see damage states. Halfway there. Interesting to see if the game will just crash as soon as I get to Microtech. That would be kind of par for the course, but we'll see. I was wondering what was going on there. I wonder if that's just because of the hood. They said they had added a new like screen to some ships that was like it stated what was going on. I wonder if I've got it. Self status. Yeah, this is it. So it's kind of like things going on in a nutshell. Okay, so I have like a little interactable screen now. That's pretty cool. So it tells you like it's essentially the what used to be in the top left of your corner to show the state of your ship, and it lets you have a look around. That's pretty neat. Top down, bottom up, and energy readings. Yeah, that basically was what they removed from the top left for a lot of ships. Not so much fighters. I know that you get it when you're in fighters and things, but not when you're in big giant boats like this, unfortunately. Which I can live with because I have yet to see something kill an 890 when I've been in it. It's not in all ships, no. Actually, I don't know. That was just going off the top of my head. I knew they'd added it, but I don't know if it's in all of them. I don't see why it wouldn't be, because it's quite a useful piece of information. I shall have to get in a smaller ship later on and do further testing. More braking things. Like, for instance, fly this into the side of a mountain and see if that screen updates, kind of thing. Yeah, so you can see someone describing the new camera thing in chat. Here we go. First arrival at Microtech. Let's see what the LODs are like, how it looks when it loads in. Oh, there was some moons. Oh, it's taking a second to load in. It does look very much like a giant ice cone. Oh yeah, it's like I want to quantum travel somewhere, but I'm still having to let the drive cool down. Interesting. So the moons are there, but they aren't. Is a very strange way to describe that. I flew past some. Yeah, see. I wonder if it's just that you can't travel to them with a quantum drive yet, because they're not coming in until the next patch. Did I vote? Yes, I did. Does it matter? Is it saying who I voted for? I voted for Labour. I work for the NHS, so go figure. Right. Can I find New Babbage? Because we obviously have to go and look at New Babbage, don't we? There doesn't seem to be many points of interest at the minute. Either that or I haven't quite gotten to the planet. Too close. Huh. Oh, there it is. That looks like the orbital station. Can I go there? Port Tressler. Out of range. Okay. I guess we're going to try New Babbage then. That quantum drive spooled up a lot faster. Please don't go through the planet and explode. Wow, 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 wow. It's very white. Let's level her out. Oh, that's that G-inducing head effect. Yeah, that's weird. Brick on a string, is there weather in 3.8? There is, indeed. There is things like blizzards and dust storms. I do believe there is a blizzard below us. I'm not going to fly head on into it just yet because I want to kind of get a look at the planet myself and let you guys have a look at the planet because this is the first time I've been here. I have to say it looks very pretty. We are lucky enough that we're coming into New Babbage on the daylight side, so it's not shrouded in darkness. Although I do appear to be gaining altitude again, which is not what I wanted to do. I want to go to the city. So go down, please. They don't have, like, you know, really in-depth weather effects at the minute. It's mainly like stormy weather, so blizzards and sandstorms, like heavy rain, that kind of stuff. The planet's surface, I don't know if it's coming out quite as nice on stream because of YouTube's compression and the fact that my ship and the entire planet is white, but it does look very pretty. We've kind of arrived at New Babbage's area, I would say like literally midday, so we aren't going to see many of the larger mountains and things casting big shadows at the minute, which is another thing that they put in this patch. Not seeing like misting on the cockpit or anything yet. Probably still a bit too high. Put the foot down and try and get a bit lower. We are above the cloud layer still, so. Still running at 30 FPS on my old build computer whilst it's streaming. The new drop shadowed UI is so much clearer. I imagine it was a right pain in the arse trying to fly around Microtech with the one without drop shadows on it, because you just wouldn't have been able to see anything. Yes, now you can see atmosphere, it's a lot clearer. There goes the cloud layer. Looks like we're in clear skies at the moment. New Babbage is up ahead, I believe. Yeah, it's just over there, so we'll change course a bit. As I said, wind maps are in the game now, so if I am flying through one of those wind maps, it will buffet my ship a bit, and it does have the ability to change my heading and nudge the ship around. So, interesting to see if that takes effect. Definitely see it's moving a bit, but not so much to change course. Probably because I am in a giant ship. So I imagine if you're in a fighter, you might get a bit more buffeted around. Oh, those mountains look so good. The chase camera, I don't know if you can see it because it's very subtle, but it's like giving the effect of definite, like, like air resistance, like being caught in the wind. Oh, there's pine trees. The pine trees that they loved at CitizenCon so much. I think I am essentially taking the same course into New Babbage that they were doing at CitizenCon with the Pisces, so because I have flown in from the direction of the other major bodies in the Stanton system. So the forests down there do look very cool. I'm very much looking forward to going and exploring like a boreal biome, so not a frozen biome, but just like a cedar forest as such. Still not getting like condensation on the screen. Again, probably because I think I'm in an area with very clear skies at the minute. I'm not going to land at New Babbage because there isn't anything to see. The spaceport and such doesn't work, I don't think. I can try. Oh, hello. That's Blizzardy. There we go. Just see a little subtle bit of a weather effect on the windshield there as we flew through a little bit of snow. Here comes some more. Is the PTU open to everyone brick on a string? No, it is open to Wave 1, which is concierge and subscribers only at the minute. If you are not a subscriber, I would not recommend you subscribe because this is the Wave 1 PTU. It will break and things will go wrong. I already feel very lucky that I have managed to do what I have done in like this past half an hour or so, and it hasn't crashed yet. So maybe I'm just one of the lucky ones. Whoa, that looks cool. Still flying towards New Babbage. It looks like I'm going to have to nose up a bit so we don't hit some mountains. And you look at that little like copse of trees down the rocks, and you could take some people down there and you could have a shootout just in that little area of trees. It's just that sense of scale now that's properly beginning to blow people's minds about this thing. I have to say, the mountains and stuff in the distance, the LODs for those, the level of detail, it looks incredible how it's not all that detailed because it's in the distance, but it looks real. They really have properly pulled out all the stops on the detailing at the minute. Even the trees, you know, you can see all the shadows that they're casting below me because of the new planet tech. The shadows are being rendered, you know, it's not just like a flat texture that's being slapped across a big bunch of forest. All the shadows from every single tree is being rendered in real time as I fly over them. That's why I'm trying not to gun too fast, because I want to enjoy the sights. I want you guys to enjoy it as well. There could be minables down there, there could be FPS minables down there, I have no idea. We'll nose out a bit now, because we should be coming up to New Babbage. Yep, still on course. Some longer shadows being casted by those trees there as they like crest the top of the hill. It's very cool. And that big copse now that's just above the 890. We'll speed up a bit if we can, just to get us to New Babbage quicker. I think I can see the top of a building in the distance, I could be wrong. Slow down a bit because she's definitely reached her top speed. Into a bit more snow now. There's the ship. Some Drake Cutlass. Definitely very weathery out here. You can see the snow and such drifting off the windshield now. Looks like the beginnings of a city down there. The storm's getting a bit more intense. Entering Armistice Zone. So definitely in the city territory. We'll slow the ship right down so we can get a good long look as we go by. That over there looks like the research centre where the CitizenCon event took place. So I imagine there's an interesting cave system and such down there. You see these bridges going across the frozen lakes here on the ground. Those are hyperloops, so the lovely technology that Mr. Musk is working on at the minute, New Babbage has, and it's designed to move you around the city when we get the city interior in 3.9. Just want to look behind us, and you can see the blizzard, sort of the wind and weather texture map as such that we've just flown through. Is that the spaceport? If it is the spaceport, good call. I have to admit, I don't know my way around. I thought it looked like that research centre. I remember them saying that they wanted to move the spaceport, didn't they, this time? That they didn't want it to be in the middle of the city so much, so that there's more room to fly around. It does look amazing, and we haven't even got close to the city yet. It's an interesting little complex down there. I'm wondering what that is. A bit more along the realms of dangerous flying, shall we? In a 190-metre capital ship through the middle of a city. Someone has already landed on us. Is that? I was going to say that's an Aurora on top of the building. I would have been a bit more worried if it was something like a hammerhead or something like that. I just saw the ship marker. Oh, wow. Frame rate still hovering around 20 to 25 FPS in the middle of a city. It's not bad for a first push patch. Trying to do a cool fly through of the city, do cool banking turns, and then I have to remember that I'm in a several thousand-ton capital ship that doesn't do turns like a fighter. Lick one of the buildings. No, you only do that when you're drunk. You go to the bar on my ship, you drink all the alcohol, and then you can go outside and try and lick the outside hull of the ship and see what happens for giggles. If you've seen people hard fly with it, then more power to them. I am not one of those people that does the hard flight videos. I would love to, but I don't have a HOTAS setup. I am flying with mouse and keyboard because I'm a pleb. I don't have, thrustmaster sticks or anything. But just going over this, it's in that realm of it's been done so well. And there is so much detail on everything that you don't pick up on it because your eye and your brain is hardwired to just accept that kind of level of detail and everything. If you saw something in the city that was just a massive blob of pixels, you'd notice it instantly and you'd be like, oh, that looks like crap. But you fly over this city and you can't see a fault. I'm not going to say flawless because we haven't got interiors and everything, but it's just gorgeous. Is there a no-fly zone? There is, but I think it's very liberal. So it's I haven't tested to, you know, bump a building or anything. Let's keep in the cockpit as we fly near one and see if we get a message come up and say, you know, you're chancing it now, mate. Yeah, there you go. You see restricted area below. So I imagine if you go very, very low just to take the piss, you'd probably get an infraction and a fine. Maybe that's the research facility over there. I've been sort of subconsciously trying to see if there was a building big enough to land the jump on, but it doesn't look like I'm going to find something at the minute. I am going to touch down before long though and get out, see if our character gets affected by the weather effects, because it does look bloody cold out here. We'll go and touch down near the spaceport, so almost like we've done a lap. Then I want to just have a look around on the ground, you know, get a feel for the environment and see how the wind and weather affects the character. But I do want to go and have a look at one of the orbital stations. I think it's Tressler Station that's above New Babbage. As well as have a look at the old planets and moons, so especially like Daymar, which will have a new heat haze effect, and it will have dust storms, so as opposed to Microtech having blizzards, Daymar will have dust storms. Maybe Yella does as well. Maybe Yella has some kind of like weird hybrid mix of the two because of its very weak atmosphere. Have I got a cold suit? No, I just have the green default RSI space pyjamas because lots of the vendors and such aren't working at the minute. They don't have items for sale, so you just kind of have to chance it. So I say, want to go outside and see if my character starts to turn into a human corpsicle. Let's get our gear down. Looks like there's a nice spot to land here. Can you set spawn location now? The first time you log in, you can choose which planet you want to spawn on, Bones. However, you can't spawn on Microtech. I did have the option, so I could spawn at Lorville, Area 18, Levski, so on. But you can't spawn at New Babbage. Shadow looks a bit bugged for me 890 there. I'm pretty sure it doesn't look like that underneath. Dunk, dunk. That was a bit of a hard landing. I say that, I'm not even down. So, engines off. So definitely see the effects of the blizzard going on outside. So, just for purpose's sake, I'm not going to get used to this new camera for a while. The run animation is still broken, so you can see there's two camera modes now. Bit confusing. Definitely see wind and stuff swaying in that breeze there. Why is she making noises? Stop making appropriate noises, I'm going to get demonetized. I didn't mean to come down here, I wanted to go onto the hangar deck first. Oh, some people in the server chat saying there is a mole at Yella, so CIG staffers must be flying them around for shits and giggles. We did suspect they were going to. Stop making noises! It's like you're playing tennis. Now here's going to be an interesting thing, how the weather effect is going to look when I open the doors here, and if we'll get the audio as soon as I open them. Ready? So it could be because there's an oxygen shield, we don't know. There goes the lift. You're just going to get a very sudden sound of a blizzard in a minute. Oh, there we go. There's the helmet effects. Don't believe the player status effects are in until 3.9. That makes sense. That's cool though, isn't it? And ship is doing the... Oh, there's the blizzardy noises. Or is that a ship flying by? Hard to tell. And ship is doing the, like, the pitching, yawing thing, like it's in the sea again. Did I land in Canada? Yeah. Because I'm not going to jump off the side of the jump, because this is 1G and I will snap my legs most likely because I don't have decent armour on. Stop swaying like you're on a sea. It's very detracting. Okay, we'll go down and we'll go out a proper way this time. And this is where the visors should start to clear. All the water will evaporate. There we go, it's already all gone. How's performance? Performance is okay, considering I'm on my older computer that is doing this whilst it's streaming this to you guys as well. I think it's holding up pretty well. They impounded my cutlass, somebody says in the server chat. I don't think I have like my armour and stuff. Oh, good old mobilus bug. To wear, unfortunately. Oh, I do! Okay. So it is just light armour and stuff, unfortunately. So now it should look blue instead of stupid RSI space pyjamas. Still got the silly running animation. Actually, we'll just go this way down, because I want to see if they fixed the alpha bug of the... Stop making those inappropriate noises of the lift here. Oh, we haven't even pressurised this yet and we're getting effects on the helmet. No, they haven't fixed the alpha bug. This is still broken. Damn it. Cool. So the sprint animation works, and the Wii running animation works, but they just haven't managed to sort of put the two together for the female person. See, that one's okay. I wonder if it could be the wind effects that's making the ship sort of pitch and roll like that. Although I wouldn't really say it's windy that much at the moment. Not to the effect where I think it would make a many thousand tonnage ship pitch on its landing leg. I'm leaving footprints and kicking up snow. I wonder if you go slower it doesn't do as much of an effect. No, still the same. See, what's going to be interesting for the helmet and things later on down the line with the game is when we start using weapons. Oh, I'm in an armistice zone, it won't let me move it. So I was going to show you that the weather effect affects the weapons as well, so looking down optics and things like that is detracted because you're in a blizzard. So, you know, it's not something that just affects and looks pretty on the helmet here. It does affect what you can do, so obviously the stronger weather effect that you're in, the worse off you're going to be. Especially later on when we have hypothermia and silly things like that affecting your character. So we saw that the trees get affected by the wind. Does the other foliage? It actually does. And this is like just light snow. There's people posted GIFs and such of, you know, like full-on blizzards and trees were like utterly bending in the wind. Very, very cool. Warm up, suit. Lose the condensation. I'm going completely the wrong way. There we go. about 50% hydrogen fuel remaining, which is a bit disconcerting in an 890.
Hello there.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I need to go and get a drink and such. So, pretty high up now. Still not out of the atmosphere. I'm guessing this atmosphere is 100k like Hurston. We're about to find out. It is indeed. Alright, so we'll turn off the thrusters and see if we can get to the station. Port Trustler, that's the one. I can't jump to it, that's annoying. Jump to it, that's a pain in the bum. Okay, so we'll quickly jump to Daymar then, because I wanted to do that. A quick look at Microtech. No, I think it's because it's too close to jump to, which is one reason. I know that they said a lot of the things with Trestler aren't working yet, so I'm not too worried about it. This thing is definitely spooling up a lot faster than it used to on 3.7, which is a good thing because it used to take forever. And Daymar should have one of these stations as well that we can go and try to get to. It's not letting me jump. I wonder if the server's dying. There we go. And just let that go to Daymar. I wonder what the station around Daymar is going to be called, because they're all meant to have them now. Covalex. Maybe Daymar doesn't have one because it has Covalex already. Or maybe it's only the major planets that have them. Yela had Grim Hex, of course. So maybe it is just the major planets. Everus Harbour, okay. So yeah, it looks like it's just the major planets that have got the stations. Now, if I didn't know better, when I'm looking down at my cockpit, my FPS is being throttled to 30. But when I go to my external view, it lets the FPS climb back up again. Yes, Trouble, the system is in the description. So when I first started doing content, I was playing Star Citizen lots on my Razer Blade Pro laptop. I have since been doing it more on the older system, so to speak. So I call it older because apart from the 1070 graphics card it's got in it, and the hard drive and like peripherals and things like that, a lot of the hardware in that computer is from about 2012, so it's a machine that's getting on quite a bit now. So it's a 4th gen, is it? No, I think it's actually a 3rd gen, isn't it, that I put in the description, so 3770K, so 3rd gen i7, 16 gig DDR3, and it's running on a Samsung 860 SSD, so kind of give a bit more sort of real world apples to apples performance, rather than, you know, guys who run Star Citizen like Citro who have like insanely overpowered PCs, and I'd love that, but I can't afford it. It sounds insane that I can't afford it, and I'm flying an 890 jump right now, but the 890 jump has come from the money that I have been trickling into this project over the years, since, you know, this project's inception. So it's kind of built up, and that's why I have my 890 now. But this year, once Christmas and New Year is gone, so 2020 is definitely going to be the year that I want to upgrade my desktop PC and get it a bit more future-proof for Star Citizen. My Razer Blade Pro can still run Star Citizen perfectly well. My Razer Blade Pro can still kill it. In fact, I would say that if I wasn't streaming or recording on my Razer Blade Pro, which tends to hamper the processor's performance a bit, it would run Star Citizen better than my desktop actually does. Am I doing alright? Yeah, I'm doing fine. I am good. I'm glad it's the fucking weekend, because this week's been awful. Not just because of all the politics stuff, but just because of work. And I would like to be doing Star Citizen stuff tomorrow night as well, but I'm actually going out tomorrow night. It's the first night I'm going to be going out in a very long time, and I need it desperately. So I will not be playing the PTU tomorrow night. Or later on tonight, I should say, considering it's 10 to 4 in the morning currently. Probably jump back on later on with the synchronizers guys and try and break things. If they keep the PTU servers up, we don't know if they're going to keep them up. That's why I'm trying to sort of get in as much as I can now before I go to bed, just in case they take them down. $4790 with 980 Ti should probably run Star Citizen still pretty well. I'm looking forward to seeing what Daymar looks like with the new planet tech. We are, of course, provided I can find it, going to visit a very special location on Daymar. Oh, you're playing 1440, you're a brave man. I've always just stuck to 1080. I would like to go to 1440 and stuff, but I just don't bother. 1080 is fine, it works fine. Can you change the ship to a small one? Maybe we can see more wind effects. Yeah, I can do. I'll get down on Daymar and then I'll see if I can yank out my M50 at one of the outposts. And then we shall go hunting for the Javelin wreck, because I want to go and see if the area around the Javelin wreck has changed. I'm just so used to flying my 890 to places at the minute because of the, as you can tell, the large gap between getting to places takes a long time. And the 890 is currently the fastest ship in the verse. Oh, Crusader got very big in the window then for a second. This thing cool down. I wonder if the 890 mission is up. This is what looks like the new Sentry missions. I might do one of these later. Calmaray. Wallace Klim, PI, got a minute. It doesn't look like the 890 missions in this one at the minute. Yeah, there are racing missions. They're few and far between because not many people do them, but they are in game. They have been for a while actually. No, I don't want to go Yale, I want to go Daymar. There's Daymar. Yeah, they've been in several patches ago. There's two variants. There is small ships and there is ground vehicles, so like Noxes and Cyclones, that kind of thing. Yeah, because people tend to accept them, which takes them off the list, and then like nobody joins, so it kind of discards the mission and invalidates it, and servers tend not to recycle missions that much, so... Right, let's see if we can get to Shubin or somewhere that will have daylight, and then it's done now, just so we can see the planet effects. There's Shubin. It's on the other side, so should have effects. Let's just hope we don't fly into the moon and blow up, because I know that's a bug at the minute. If it is, I'm going to have to turn the engines off sharpish. Didn't even want to do it. Try again. There we go. Definitely see the textures of the planet, well, moon rather, have changed, which is going to make finding the Javelin wreck interesting. Ooh. I can see that the surface has changed. It's very subtle in this light, but you can definitely see it looks a bit more detailed. You see how the colour highlights have changed as the light goes from brighter to darker, from right to left. It's more noticeable now, whereas before it just looked like an orange mass with a sunset above it. That and the haze has changed. In fact, the haze has changed that much I'm worried and I'm slowing down before I end up slamming into the surface of the moon. See some of the long shadows being casted by the rocks and stuff on the surface there. That's really cool. Where's the outpost? Oh, there it is. It's literally right in front of me. I can't even see it. I keep want to go travelling forward. Okay. Maybe not land on the big rocks. I only had 37% fuel left, so I was going to have to ditch this thing soon anyway. The lady keeps making inappropriate noises whenever she goes downstairs. Stop it! Elevator invisible bug is still here in the 890. Oh wow, that's new. It's like a very different dust stormy effect going on. It's like she's injured. I wonder. No, that didn't help. Yes, the weapons. Oh, I did just enter the armistice zone. We'll back up a few feet. So yeah, you can see the weather effects will affect even these as well. Not as good as an effect on Daymar, because Daymar isn't full of blizzards. I need to stop running like an idiot. What was that? Was that a rock? I don't have my M50 here. That's annoying. Can I get one of the Pisces out? No. Why didn't copy my M50 across? Should be able to get an 85X out. Really? I'm cursed to have to take the 890 back out again. Raven? Although I don't think it's going to spawn that on the pad. I didn't think so. That's a bugger. Normally you can Revit C, but I've always been able to spawn my M50 on these pads because it's very small, and sometimes 85X as well. Maybe they've changed it now. Look at the sunset! Stop moaning! Oh, I wonder if... Okay, hang on. Let's get out the armistice zone. Because if I remember, you can do like hand-to-hand combat now. I wonder if that's why they're making excited noises, because of the stress from doing things like this. So that's the weapon. Let's have a look. On foot. Melee attack left. Melee block. Melee attack throw. Pull up fists 0. Okay. I see. That's block. Apparently, I didn't know that, holding them down together. And then I have to I have to press and hold down R as if I were holding a gun to holster my own fists. Interesting. Yeah, 144 beats per minute. My character is maybe a late... Ooh. Landing lights? They were landing lights. Another ship here. I'll have to have a look when we get up. Yes, my lady is reflecting me in real life in that she's not very fit. I have an excuse. I can say that I genuinely have a heart condition, so I can't go around just swinging my fists randomly. Not so in Star Citizen. That's supposed to be the peak of the peak when you're an astronaut, I believe. It got dark very fast around here, didn't it? So this thing has enough juice to get out of atmosphere and back to Odyssey. It's only day mark, so it's not a big atmosphere. That's the kind of shot we were looking for. I don't think there's auroras yet, Guillermo. I think what you might be confusing as an aurora is more just an atmospheric haze that's being done by the shaders. Question mark, question mark? Why am I getting question marks on the hood? Oh, they're guns, that's why. It's just taking time to scan them. Stop making noises! Someone can come try and steal a Bingo Fuel 890 if they want to. But we'll go and see if we can get something else to fly. This is where I snap my legs. Oh, it's actually the first time I've landed that in a while. Normally she just face plants. Again, performance feels very smooth. Like, no hitching as such. But it's OLSR, and OLSR is normally kind of perfect in these situations. Oh, hello! So this is the new thing, fines and citations payment system. These don't work at the minute. I know you can interact with them, but I think, yeah, you just get turned away, you see? So you can't toy with them. But yes, if you've been naughty, this is where you can balance the scales, as it shows with the hologram. Let's get out our Pisces.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
The vehicle name for this looks a bit screwed for the PTU. This Pisces is mine, it's because I have a Carrack. What's my thoughts on the Ares? I like the Ares. It looks very, very, very cool. If it was flight ready when they announced it, I may have been tempted. But I prefer to have vehicles in-game to fly around in a PTU environment like this before I decide to make a splash, before they release them to the sales. Where should we go then? Let's try and go back to Daymar and see if we can get to OM3 and see if we can spot the Javelin rack. If it's not on the daytime side, I won't bother. But yeah, I do like the Ares. The Ion one, the energy cannon one, meh. It just feels like a big laser pointer with giant batteries, because that's what that version of the Ares has to carry to power it. Ooh, what's going on with this quantum jump? Oh, this is a weird quantum jump. Oh, there we go. That was interesting. Yes, Ravixi Microtech is in. We've visited it already and flew around New Babbage in the 890. And then went out and got caught in a blizzard. Oh, they've changed the quantum travel now. Interesting. So we want OM3. So I much prefer, the Ballistix variant of the Ares. The Daka version, or the Burt version, if you're an A10 Thunderbolt fan, I suppose. Right, can we spot the telltale sign of 1X Javelin, or have they changed the surface textures too much? It's hard to tell. That looks kind of like the old marking, but it doesn't help that the moon is half in day, half in night. They have said that they've, revitalized pretty much every moon. I am pretty convinced that's it, but I couldn't be sure. The fact that I can zoom in this much and see this much detail in its own is ridiculous from this high up. I mean, look at that fidelity. It's like looking through a spy satellite. I really can't tell. I know it's OM3 that we have to go to now, but it looks like they've changed the moon that much. I'm just going to do that again because that was fun. So just press Z to get the ship to stay still. And we'll just zoom in on this random canyon down here. And it bugs out a bit at the end because it always has done zooming in from this kind of distance when you're wearing a helmet. Yeah, it's like using some kind of retarded version of Google Earth to zoom in on something. Oh, I really wanted to go to the Javelin wreck. Maybe I'll have to find it later on. Just trying to spot that telltale whale on the surface of Daymar that we always used to use to navigate to it. Although I would be very, very overjoyed to learn that you will be able to like spot it from orbit like this, because you can zoom in so far. You'll be able to see something like a big wreck. The sun is slowly coming up over that side of the moon. They really have changed the surface of Daymar a lot. More than I thought they would. It's definitely got more, I don't know what the word would be, marbling kind of effects. So the, you know, it feels like it's got a variation of textures now. Have they changed the weapons on the Pisces? They have. I was wondering what was following my camera. Okay, so they've changed that to repeaters now. Interesting. I've seen the gun barrels pop up in the corners. I was like, what the fuck is that popping up on my screen? You can tell it's really early in the morning. What are the tiny lights in the dark side? Are you just seeing like the flickers of space dust? The space fairies. I genuinely can't tell. Where's the next OM going around? OM6. That's somewhere else. There's Dunlow. I'm still convinced it's down there somewhere, but those canyons don't look right. What the? Okay. Okay. Did somebody just fly into me? How rude. That wasn't a weapon impact. Welcome to PTU. Seen that happen in the last patch before this one? What, just randomly exploding? I've never seen ships just randomly explode before. I wasn't in quantum travel either. I was just sat stationary, spinning on the spot, trying to spot the Javelin wreck. Someone followed you, yeah, or I'm being stream sniped. Which would be a new thing for me in Star Citizen. Can't ever say I've been stream sniped before. Seems a bit of a waste of time. Okay, randomly exploding, okay. Spaceship spontaneous combustion, duly noted. Sprint to get back to the spaceport now. I won't have my 890 now, but I will be able to claim it. Yeah, it did look like the back shields took a hit, which is why I think someone had ran into me, because it wouldn't have just been one, you know, laser impact. I have not seen something that will wipe out something that fast, with the exception of the RSI Mantis, which is designed to be like a piece of cardboard, so it can't be used to troll. Yes, Cole, I have. I may as well grab another semi-large ship. I will grab the, if it's on my list, I'll grab the 600i, because I know it's the Arena Commander loaner for my 890, and that's got a broader windscreen that will be able to see the weather effects on. And we'll go back to Microtech before I go to bed. Microtech looks very, very, very pretty. You can tell that they really have pulled out all the stops for the terrain stuff. I haven't looked around the different biomes yet. Maybe that's something we should do before I go to bed. I might try and find one of the, you know, like the alpine boreal biomes that's like a cedarwood forest as opposed to just the snow. Am I the first person that just got killed by an Ares? It would be an unusual claim to fame, wouldn't it? Oh, there's a streamer. Well, saying that is kind of par for the course for streamers. Whenever I've done things for synchronizers or other content creators, even when I've done stuff with Board Gamer and we're in a server together, it's normally the streamers that get shot to pieces first for no apparent reason other than the fact that we're just there. We don't get in the way. These people just see us in shooters because they see something that they want to shoot. Normally Citro that dies first, then me.
Now arriving.
Hello? Let me out! Or let me in. Server gone? Server gonna crash. Yeah, I think the server's going down. Here comes the 30k! Let me in! Now, is it having a moment, or is it actually going down? It's hard to tell. This is like, you can know, everything gets unresponsive because it's where the server is making its giant log of things. Like, you know, it's tying off the end of its log, and it's like, yeah, bye, 30k for you all. Yeah, there we go. As I just described. Yeah, and the game definitely does crash on leaving the PU. We shall try that again. Bus breaks down, man trapped. I've now become, what is it, the tourist? Wasn't it that Tom Hanks played when he was in the airport? Sleeping on the seats and eating all the cafe food. I'm paying far too much money for it. Ooh, account login failed. I've not had that one in a while. I wonder if they've shut everything down. The terminal, that's the one. I said the tourist, I was thinking of The Foreigner, but that's a completely different film, isn't it? That's Jackie Chan just going ape shit and killing everyone because his daughter died in a bomb. Yeah, if we broke it and it crashed, that is genuinely mission accomplished, because this whole patch of testing tonight was to try and crash server-side container streaming. However, as you can see, I am now trying to get back in the server, so hopefully it's working. I wasn't able to choose where I could spawn, which means that area of persistence is still there, which means I should spawn in ArcCorp again. Sleep well, Guillermo. I will probably be joining you before too long if this Microtech visit doesn't work again. I hope it does, because I do want to see one of the other biomes. Does SOX have any noticeable effect? Yes. More, I would say, overall stability, like frame rate wise, like less stutters. And I've noticed when transitioning to different physics grids, so I can show you in a minute when we step on the tram going in. It's always like near night time when I wake up in ArcCorp for some reason. Less hanging on load yet, so things like popping in and out faster. What is SOX? SSOCS? Server-side object container streaming. It is something that this game has been waiting for a very, very long time, years in fact. That is the server doing the work to stream in object containers, so like rooms and things around you that you need and that you don't need as you move around the environment. So before we had object container streaming on a client side, which was your computer doing the heavy lifting. Now it's been coded into the servers so that the servers can start doing some of the heavy lifting instead, which will give an overall performance boost and make the game run a lot smoother. In a nutshell, I could go a lot more technical about it, but I'm not going to. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm not going to go into great detail about SSOCS. Basically, it's an awesome piece of technology for large-scale gaming environments such as this. So, when you think of like how large world maps on multiplayer servers have been in the past, so for GTA or just something along those mental lines, that's had to stream in so much detailed content in a new higher bitrate engine. Once they get it up and running and like in full whack, and Star Citizen becomes like a more proven technology, CIG will be able to sell the engine technology to other developers because they will want to use it. That's how important the technology is. Yeah, Tiberius has got it. Imagine the future applications to other games. Other games will be able to use it and do the same kind of thing. Saying they might not sell it to other people. I think they will, but not for a very, very long time. At the end of the day, we've had a few small revisions of OCS. Let me put the frame rate back up for you guys, actually, because we didn't have that. But yeah, the server-side OCS, this is literally the first implementation of it. The sun is coming up, so at least we'll get a nice view of ArcCorp when we're leaving. So, for SSOCS being smoother, so moving on different physics grids, as you'll see in a second, when you used to step off the tram, you may have noticed in older versions of SC, your character will bob and it will go. Well, your character will have a tiny seizure as you step off onto a different physics grid. This seems to have been negated. At least it did on the other server. See, there was a little blip, but none of the like massive character jerk that it's had in the past for so long. It's just little, you know, tweaks like that that make the quality of life overall better. So same when you're stepping into and out of ships, so separate physics grids. You won't get that jankiness of your character like having a moment when they step onto a new gravity area. I do still have stored at ArcCorp, but it wants me to claim it. Right, that makes sense. Right. Well, we'll claim the 890 anyway. Oh, now my M50 shows up. Wow. That's just annoying. Sod it. I could go into about the argument for game development stuff, and you know the time it takes to do games over and over. I have done in previous videos, I've done it in previous streams. It almost feels like a waste of energy trying to defend it at this point. It's not a case of saying I'm not going to defend it. It's just that it's like, if you like Star Citizen, it's your, you know, what do you expect from something that you're going to invest your time into currently? Do you mind if it breaks every now and again? Do you mind if it, you know, or are you looking for a perfect kind of gaming experience? If you are, leave Star Citizen alone, go and play something else that probably charges you too much money. But yeah. Oh, and you're right, Tiberius. I'm not saying I'm like a complete CIG shill. Like, I will acknowledge and I will say that CIG has had a lot of problems in the past, and they really did faff around for the first few years. Lots of mismanagement, tons of feature creep, but like in the past year and a half to 2 years, they finally managed to knuckle down and start pumping stuff out at a decent rate. So hopefully they can only go up. No, I know you're not attacking me. It's just I have been called a shill for it in the past, and it's like, no, I know they've fucked up. Plenty of people have plenty of reason to be pissed off for different reasons. Yeah, it was definitely like, had a soft makeover when I think somebody snatched some of the reins out of Chris's hands and said, you know, we need to actually do this, this, this and this to make it work now. So that sweet Planet Tech V4 takeoff. No, they're not without fault. Is that my shit list or what the PTU's given me? Shit list wise, I own the 890, I own a Carrack, and I own the Drake Caterpillar. I own the Saber Raven. I think that's it. Oh, and some ground vehicles as well. But the things like the M50 here and the racing vehicles is part of an Arena Commander package thing that was given to me as a referral reward. What do you call it? And things like some of the other Origin ships and stuff are loaners for other ships. So the 600i, for some reason, you get as a loaner for Arena Commander for the 890. Maybe CIG feels like taking an 890 to Arena Commander might be a little bit of overkill. And I have an Aquila on there because I have the Carrack. I still have two Pisces on there. I don't know why. Because I upgraded my Pisces to the Explorer variant. Ah, the game just crashed. Bugger. There we go. I knew that was going to happen. At some point or other. Let's see if we can restore into it. No, I don't think you can multi-crew in Arena. In Arena Commander. One of the Ares loaners is the Hurricane, and I think the Hurricane is for the ballistic one, and the energy weapon one is a different one. Are the stations above planets? Yes, they are. It didn't let me resume instance. In fact, it's not let me do anything. Right, I am actually going to call it here, guys, because I am tired. And I will definitely stream tomorrow, but I am knackered. It's 25 to 5 in the morning because I didn't expect that they were going to push the patch this late at night, so I just had to get in and see it. So if you missed the flying around Microtech and New Babbage, when this thing comes up, or if you can rewind back in the stream, I don't know if YouTube will allow you to do that. It was the first thing we did. We went to Microtech and we flew around New Babbage in the 890. Me perilously trying to avoid buildings as I tried to sort of drift around corners. So you can go and watch there. But YouTube will upload it and you can watch it later on if you don't go and see another content creator doing something. But keep an eye out because I imagine people like, you know, Montoya, Citero, Board, Morphologist, whoever, they'll all be, Captain Richard, they'll all be doing streams and stuff as the American time zone comes alive. So I hope you have a good evening / day / morning, wherever it is. I don't even know what time it is at the minute, and I will talk to you all later on. I'll probably be streaming later on with the Sync guys before I go out Saturday evening, but yes, I'll definitely be around on Sunday. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.
Hello there.